Miss Margaret, thank you so much for joining us today. You're with the West Monroe Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to talk about a fantastic program you guys started, about a year ago?
Yes.
And that's taking our youth and putting them into mentorship programs with local businesses. So thank you for joining us today, and let's jump into this program. So talking before we started recording, you had mentioned that you were brought on with the Chamber to help develop this program or realize kind of a vision that was already planted. So introduce yourself to us, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let's get into the plan.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to share about a passion of mine, and that is to sow into the next generation. And so I was brought on board in June of 23, and with the vision of desiring to answer the call to develop and to sow into our young students and to provide them a safe environment to learn some skills and to work with a mentor. We started with our board members as our mentors,
Right.
and the best of the best. And so we have an amazing community of leaders and businesses that we want to highlight. We want to bring in to help us in this journey to speak into the lives of the young students and impact them with and educate them on what availability is right here, what options they may have for vocation, career opportunities, educational opportunities, and connect them and help them streamline their 13th year.
When Chris first told me about, I think it was still in the idea stage, he hasn't really fleshed it out, and I don't think you had been brought on board by that time, was just kind of talking to me about the idea, and his pitch to me was, kids don't know what kids don't know until they know. And, it resonated with me because I was that at one point. I never could have imagined that I would be where I'm at today as, someone that was still a teenager. And being able to take and expose these kids to different work environments, because it's not, if I understand it, this mentor program, it's not just you select one, you go to that one. If there needs to be a shifting of gears or they want to experience different things, that's available to them. Is that correct?
Yes, that's available.
So with the, I never would have thought the chamber, but oh my word, just the way the chamber's laid out, it's the ultimate place for the youth to be able to go to experience all different types of industries. So talk to us a little bit about how you took this from concept to an actual program that, the students are given basically a handbook that says, this is kind of how we're going to achieve this. Tell us about the creation of it.
Well, I think my years in nonprofit had helped. I had worked with Mercy Multiplied for 28 years.
Wow.
And I started here in the West Monroe facility. It's a program for young ladies dealing with life-controlling issues. So I was program director for many of those years, and then I helped develop new home locations. I began to train our staff, and my role grew into international and consulting with our international affiliates. And so anyway, I became the executive director of program operations, which actually from start to finish, from application process to aftercare, once the residents graduated the program, that was my realm of authority and came under the umbrella of program operations. So I believe that kind of set me up to have a broader perspective of what a program could look like. And so just taking that experience, it really helped me to develop this. And it was not me by myself. It's
Sure.
Chris is amazing in his influence and wisdom and all of the connections.
And he's very passionate about the next generation, the impact that they can actually have in our community, because we really need those people. We don't need our youth leaving to go other places. Mm-hmm. They love this area. They know this area. We want them to be able to thrive in this area. So when you're putting a program like this together, kind of give us some high-level views or kind of bullet points of how you would take a student through this entire program. What does the program actually look like? How long does it last?
Good question. It's a 6-month program, and once a student applies, then I will match them with a business leader that has already expressed interest in being a mentor. And so we meet, we interview, and look to see what the passion is, what their experiences are, and what they would like to why they would like to step into that role.
What grade level do you guys try to target?
So it's 9th through 12th.
Okay.
And honestly, the younger the better. I mean, we actually have a very good variety. The first cohort, we have 6-month cohorts that go through the program. And the first cohort of students, we had several freshmen. And so the earlier the better. But we also want to get those juniors and seniors
Sure.
as well as they navigate. Last year, we had several staff members from ULM professors that participated as mentors, and they see the need. Their passion is, we need to get these kids before they hit college.
Sure.
Because even as a sophomore in college, they're still unsure about their direction and their future.
And that's a question that's kind of been on my mind since we scheduled this podcast. Is I know that many youth at early ages, if you ask them, what do you want to do when you grow up? Yes. I mean, it's just like, don't have a clue. Because, the space is so vast. I don't know what I really fit in. I don't want to lock myself into this because I may not like it. And people realize that a lot of times you spend more time on the job than you do your waking hours during the week than with your family. So it's like it's a big choice. It's a big decision. And I get that. How do you guys kind of help when you have someone that enrolls in the program and they may not have the vision of what that looks like? How do you guys walk them through the process, or is there a process to walk them through to kind of self-discover what they want to focus on?
Awesome. That the way we start is the art of becoming you, and that is looking at core values, teaching them what core values are, and then giving the significance of why those values are so important. If a person cannot really pinpoint what they truly value, then they're going to be kind of tossed to and fro. They're going to lean into people pleasing, or they're not going to really live their life based on a standard. And so they won't make the best decisions. And so how we start with the students is we focus first and foremost on what core values are. We have external professional leadership development coaches that pour into our students as well. So there's that self-discovery, the personal growth, and the professional development. And so our very first external coach is Dr. Bob Turner, and he goes throughout the United States developing church leadership, speaking into their vision and helping them figure out what is your mission statement? What are those core values that are your guiding principles? So that's how we start with the students. And then their mentor will jump into the goals and their vision and set the course for the 6-month program. They have materials, the students and the mentors have objectives to achieve for each session. It's 6 months of one-on-one mentorship. There's 2 sessions a month. One would be face-to-face, the other would be virtual, to help because the transportation issue with students.
Sure.
And possibly not having a vehicle. So
the first How many sessions have you guys done so far with students?
Oh, wow. So we just launched the fall session in August.
Okay.
And so they should have already had 2 sessions.
No, as far as how many different groups have you run through the
I'm
program?
sorry. So this is the third cohort of students.
So the group 1 and group 2 have kind of graduated the program.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, well, before we get into that, so the mentor you line them up with, is that the mentor in the field they want to be in, or is that mentor there to help them discover and to work with them in the different fields so that they can job shadow different people? How does that process work?
It's both and.
Okay.
If we can have a match with the specific field of interest for that student, with the mentors that have, come to us and volunteered, then we match them. That's the preference. And then they would work to, and then we also will match the student. If the mentor does not have that specific, career, then the job shadowing would be that time where the student would get a firsthand look and glimpse of that role and that responsibility.
How many students did y'all have the first go around and then through the second one?
We had 8 students the first go around. We every summer the chamber provides a 6-day camp, and it's for future entrepreneurs. And so those are high school students going from 8th grade into 12th grade, and it's an amazing process. We handpicked those students, that first cohort, based on, we knew their strengths. We worked with them for 6 solid days and felt like they would be a really good candidates for the program. So we started there and with the 8 students, and our board members, our sitting board members actually were our first mentors, and they did an amazing job. Yeah.
So what about the second? Have y'all grown from the 8 to the second one? And then how many do you have enrolled in the third program?
So we almost doubled.
Oh, wow. That's great to hear.
Yeah. So we went from 8 to 16 or 15. And then we increased, we went outside the board and increased our, our realm with the mentors and outside of the board. And now we have 23.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah. So going through the different iterations of the different groups, what's one thing that may have surprised you? I mean, this is something that's new, hasn't been done here before, brand new program. What are some of the things you didn't really think about that has actually surprised you going through this process?
The students. It is amazing. The students that actually apply to the program are, most of the time, they're very motivated. And they are actually very active in extracurricular activities. The students are pretty high GPA. We have had 5 or 6 different homeschools that participate, and those students soar because they are that motivated. But just the sheer acknowledgement that, hey, I need some help, I need some guidance, and their enthusiasm and their desire to learn and to grow.
One of the things that I'm sitting here thinking about as just a huge benefit for a young person to do this, there's so many people that will graduate college with so much student loan debt that I don't even know how they plan on getting that stuff paid off. And a lot of that comes from not understanding what you want to do and head down a career field that you learn that, yeah, this is not for me, and you have to back up and almost start over again. So this money that you've spent was basically kind of wasted because you have to go back. And I'm not saying that education in general is a waste. Any education you can get is going to be positive, but if you're not planning on applying that education, probably shouldn't have had to pay for it in the beginning. Being able to have a young person to get started off on the right foot, they may not have everything figured out, but at least they know a direction that interests them, that feels good, and they feel like they can excel at, is giving them a leg up than everyone else. Talk to me about the mentors going through the process. What does that look like? And now, how are you trying to find those mentors? You've gotten outside of your board. So where are those mentors coming from?
Actually from within our board, and we're sending out an all call to all of our members. We are speaking with church leadership, civic organizations to make our community aware of what we are doing, and people are just getting on board. When you share the vision of, you can make an impact into what our future looks like, what better way than to, share your own personal experience, whether it was you took a normal route, and I would say normal route meaning you knew what you wanted to do, you pursued it, and you're in your niche, right? You're in your targeted field. However, that doesn't always pan out. Life happens, it throws curveballs. I never anticipated doing what I'm doing today. Thank God that He gives us those directions and leadings and all of that throughout our lives. But anyway, but it's just, it's exciting. Once you share that vision and that passion is heard, and people answer that call. And I'm really proud of what we're doing, because the chamber has seen a need and has answered a call to sow into these young people and to give them some direction. I mean, what better way to figure out, what you may be wired for and what you might not. We have this example that we use all the time, and that's, kids love animals, and they think that they want to be a veterinarian until they go and actually see what a veterinarian has to do. And then they're like, no, I can't do that. Maybe they do want to do something with animals, but it's not the veterinarian.
Sure.
It's something else. And maybe dog groomer. So, they get to figure that out, and with the guidance of our mentors.
A lot of people don't realize our economy is built on the back of small businesses here in Northeast Louisiana. We don't have the big, massive industry. We have a few that's big names that are out there, big companies, but we have so many small businesses that have so much to offer, and I can understand how it would be hard to know about them without a program like this. And something else I'd like to touch on, and you kind of hit on, you brought it, dog groomer. Our economy is changing. The way we educate is changing. The direction that we are advising our youth is changing. Every kid that graduates high school is not meant for a college path, and that's okay. But they still need that next level of education to get them to wherever next is going to be. And I'm just so thankful that we have Delta that's there to be able to come alongside of ULM and to be able to take care of our youth, to give them quality job skills that are going to have a major impact within our local economy, where someone can graduate and come out of a trade or higher education and make a good living here, staying right here at home, Northeast Louisiana. What are some of the success stories you've seen from the youth coming out of this program? Do you have any that you could share with us?
We have one young lady who she's she set the bar pretty high. She was in our first cohort of mentorship, and she had already had somewhat of a online business. And then we have another young man who also had an online business. And they went through the Future Entrepreneur Academy. Then that next step was the mentorship program. And it gave them the confidence, it gave them the awareness of, networking skills and, preparing for your interview and job shadowing opportunities. And it just gave them the confidence. Our one student, Abigail, I was really impressed because once she graduated or, completed the program, we had a First Friday lunch, or I think that's what it was, and she attended as a community member, and she wanted to learn more about what was being offered, and took part of that lunch and learn. And I was just so proud of her. She's actually following through with some of the classes that she learned she needed to enhance her skills, and she is creating music for gaming and that kind of thing, scores, and she's already doing it. It's amazing.
I can imagine the confidence that a program like this can instill within our youth. It's nerve-wracking sometimes going to meet on an interview or to get to know a different business. But if you've got that mentor that's running alongside of you, that can help build massive confidence, I would think. And from the business community, reading through the program, it is such a small commitment to reach such a big impact. And what a great way to showcase your business to the community by bringing someone in and being able to mentor them. If you had to just for a few minutes, just speak into our business leaders, what would you want them to know about this program and why it's almost a necessity, I would think, for them if they want to continue to grow in this community, that they help the future generation. What would you have to say to them?
Well, there would be no regrets in that. Anytime, and there's actually great benefit for people to come alongside. One of the things is legacy. What as a community leader and a business person, what do you want your legacy to be? We have amazing, like you mentioned, we have amazing small businesses here. We have third and fourth generational businesses. Yeah. And a lot of times we see that the grandchildren really don't want to stay or remain in that business. You get to showcase and give your knowledge and pass that knowledge and your experiences and the wisdom gained throughout the years to help impact that person's life and make a difference. And then really there's nothing like shadowing somebody. There's nothing like interning or apprenticeship. When I first came on board, I was asked, what could you see for this program? And our legacy just came and hit me. It's like there's room in this program, and we need business owners to help and to work with these students, because they're the future. Who are you going to pass the baton to? What better way to apprentice that next generation?
Where do you see the ultimate vision going? Do we have any long-term goals for this?
It would be having each of the industries tapped in, and with internships or apprenticeships, we need more of the trade skills. We need mentors in those fields. The manufacturers, we would love to have some type of, not just a career day, but what would a true job shadowing look like? If they could follow or they could have a little bit more insight into what a specific role would be within that industry. That way we can just broaden our influence and really educate students on, you can work at graphic and you can make X, Y, and Z, with this course of study.
Awesome. Where do people, to apply for this program, for the student side, how do they get signed up for it? And where are you guys pushing the information to be in front of the kids?
So we are reaching out to all of our high schools, even our junior highs. And we have different, like our homeschool association has our information. So we're asking our libraries, they have our flyers. We are asking schools to place this information on their website as well as any postings, social media postings, various businesses. PJ's is always great to let us place a flyer in their windows, and so just various places.
So what about the business community? If they have an interest but are just not quite fully grasping how they can impact, what message and where would they go to sign up or try to get more information?
So they can go to westmonroechamber.org/mentoring, and that will take them to our page, and there is a section for mentors. It tells a little bit about what the responsibility or commitment looks like, and then the process of filling out a mentor survey to include a bio and a photo, and then we would have a conversation about their interest and all of that.
And again, I want to reiterate that it is not a huge time commitment for the return on investment.
That's it.
The return on investment could be huge for a mentor, not only for your business, but just to impact a kid's life, to put them on a trajectory. They may not have any interest in what you offer within the community, but through that business owner's connections and knowledge base, to be able to direct that young person to something that is going to hit exactly what they need is huge.
It is huge.
Huge. I want to thank you for coming in to share this with us today. I know that this has been a passion for the West Monroe Chamber for quite some time. You guys now have it off the ground. I'm sure it's always going to be a work in progress and looking to add different building blocks to it. But I think we're off to a great start. We want to keep as many of our kids in this area as we possibly can. I know that I'm fighting to keep I've got 3 girls. I've got one that's about to graduate, and she just got a job offer in her field. So I'm thankful that she's going to be able to stay in this area. And then I hope my 2 younger ones, we continue to grow in this way that we're there, want to stay here as well.
Well, that's awesome.
So thank you for your time. And we're going to make sure that we have all the information we talked about here today in our show notes, so that if anybody ever wants to reach out to learn more about this, they're just one click away to making it happen.
Absolutely. And they can always go to the website. We have an FAQ for the parents to talk further about what this will look like and answer any questions they have. And then that's where the students can apply as well.
Well, thank you for your call to service our community. West Monroe Chamber, just like the Monroe Chamber, does an awful lot to invest in our young people, into business, and to just our overall community health. So thank you again for the time today.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see how this program grows.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to this podcast. We really appreciate your involvement. Please leave us a comment, or even better yet, subscribe to this podcast and hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted for every new episode when it hits.